Welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the garage and we're going to be working on the CX500s again. If you didn't catch the video before this, if you want to know more information about what these bikes are, where I got them, all that stuff, go check out that video. If you watched the previous video, you can obviously tell I've already kind of switched the tank. I edited the previous video just after we got this bike running. And before I really want to dive much deeper, I want to make sure this one can also at least turn over and run. It does turn over. I did cycle the oil. So now I want to see if it'll actually start. So off camera, I've actually disassembled the airbox and also pulled apart the carbs. That was quite the venture. I had two sets of carbs for these bikes. So this one's actually running the Murrays, and I had the original ones off this one, which were totally seized up. And then I had another set of carbs that I think came off of this bike or maybe his other chopper, I don't know. But either way, I managed to make one good set of carbs, got them pretty well set up. Probably will need a rebuild kit, to be honest, if I really want to make it reliable on the road. But for right now, we at least want to see if the future chopper bike will at least run. Because if this doesn't run, then that changes all of the plans for this build. Went out this morning, I had to pick up some extra fuel line and a fuel filter for this. We have good gas in this tank, so let's get that connected and we'll see if this fires up. I think I'm gonna run it like this. Yeah, right about there. All right, let's see if it leaks. No leaks, that's good. Now, Manny said that the original carbs on these, they couldn't get them to stop leaking. So I am kind of curious about that. Anyways, let's see if she fires over. Alrighty, we have a runner, folks. We have a runner. Sweet. Blew out some cobwebs there. Poof. Alrighty. So, what that means is we can go further with the diagnosis on this bike. I'm going to check out a few more things. This just opens up a whole new possibilities to start working on. Yeah, we're going to go ahead with the process of putting a lot of these OEM parts back on this bike, and we're going to fix the tail ends, and then we're really just going to start servicing everything. We're going to need oils, radiator fluids, probably a couple gasket rebuild kits for this. The Murray carbs, I believe, are pretty solid. I'll probably get a new filter for it, some new lines perhaps. Man, honestly, this fired up a lot easier than I thought it was going to, and that's exciting. That is very exciting. All right, let's get to work. But before we go any further, one thing that has been driving me nuts is how absolutely filthy these bikes are. So I'm actually going to get some trash bags, cover up the intakes, pull the battery off, roll them out, and we're going to get these things degreased, washed up, hopefully a little less crusty. All right, so I've got the bikes in the garage. I've orientated them in a different way. That way they're easier to kind of work between. So I think I've said a couple of times we're going to be kind of robbing parts from each bike, swapping them around for different benefits, I guess. I'll be taking a lot of the good OEM parts off of this one, putting them on this bike. A lot of the aftermarket parts, like the Murray's carbs and stuff, putting them on this bike. So I've ordered the oil change kits, filters. This bike actually has an adapter to run a car filter, which is kind of cool. We're actually going to be putting that on this bike. A lot of details. I'm going to try to capture as much as I can and bring you all along. I imagine the next conversion and swapping and all, it's not going to happen all in one night. This is probably going to be the combination of the next week, if not more. We'll see. I've just been working on these as I can. With that said, let's get started. Alrighty, so I've got the rear end kind of tacked up here. Got the factory fender here in the back. And then this is basically where all the bikes have been chopped. Unfortunately, I don't have the full plastic fender liner. So I'm using this piece here, which is the original rear fender. I'm not sure what all I'm missing, but I did find the original taillight. I like it a lot better on the back. It kind of looks more proportional with that on. I do have some gaps to fill, which won't be a problem. But when this is how it kind of looks, which I'm not too thrilled about this gap here, but that's like factory, because I believe there used to be like a beauty bar or like handrail that goes there. So I don't know. Might toy with this, see if I can lower it. But that's with the tank on it and everything. I still have a few more bits to clean up on the bike. Still got to put the factory carbs on, take the Murrays off, and put the factory intake box on. That's it. And not to mention, I still have the cafe fairing to put on. I got to come up with some interesting little brackets though that will work in these holes, and I'll have to relocate the already relocated turn signals. So, but that'll be something further on down the road. As for the chopper, we actually got, well, Manny had this. It's a small peanut Sportster tank that I think we might end up using. The channel in the bottom is a little narrow, so I don't know. It's a pretty nice tank, but I could like widen it and cut it out and then just replate it on the inside. Not sure if that's what we're going to do yet. And I think we also mentioned in another video that we picked up a ton of handlebars. I don't know how many are in here, but we picked these up for like 20 bucks. I think this one's 1 inch, but the rest of them are 7/8. So we have a lot of options for the chopper handlebars. Get rid of these drags. But as for the chopper, I think we're going to try to reuse this belt well seat. About right there. And I still have the shocks on the rear. That's just to hold up the rear. But as soon as I take those out, the swing arm will come up a little bit more. And then we'll be making some brackets to weld the swing arm to the frame. And it should bring that fender up a lot higher. Like, I'm betting this tire comes up at least, you know, another 2 inches. And then I'll probably round these out. Maybe bring them up a little higher. Make a little frame here and a little support. And then figure out a fender and all. So that is where I'm at with the two projects. Lots to figure out, lots to assemble, just find hardware and kind of clean up from what happened to them apparently. So let me know what you think of the progress so far, and if you have any suggestions, let me know down below. And until next time, take it easy.